What's up YouTube, Crispy Charizard here. I know you haven't seen me in a while, and I'm really glad that my channel relatively exploded recently. Sword and Shield was first announced in February, if you can believe it. That feels like just yesterday, but also ages ago. And we haven't had any real information other than what we saw in the first trailer, which was a lot of gameplay, the starters, the names of the games of course. No actual legendary or cover art, but the starters is what I want to discuss today. Just to get right into it, I found these fake images of the final evolutions of the Galar starters. Everyone is saying they're unofficial, they're fake, and I believe it. I believe that what I found is unofficial and fake because, come on, there's no way they could be real. Like, they have better security than that. I mean, how amateurish do you think that leaks can be, like getting released this early? It's just unheard of. But I am conflicted because while I am 99.99% sure that these are fake, they're really good in my opinion. Now, some people are hating on them for good reasons, some people actually like them, and today we'll just look at these fake final evolutions of the Galar starters, and I'll tell you why I actually really like them. So, these are the fake Galar starters. Obviously, there's a confidential right there. And obviously, Scorbunny's final evolution is metallic looking. It's got a jetpack. It's obviously still a fire type. It still has its white color scheme, but a lot of gray on it. And overall, I think it's meant to be an astronaut, which unfortunately does not match everyone's theory that it'll be a soccer player / football player, since it's the UK. So yeah, the fact that it's an astronaut and not a soccer player is letting everyone know that it's obviously fake. The Sobble final evolution was the trickiest one for me to figure out because I was like, it's just a generic dragon. And I'm like, okay, water dragon. It's actually what I was hoping for because, Sobble's a lizard. And at first I was like, it's just a generic dragon. But then it hit me a few days later that it's the Loch Ness Monster. And it is a much, much better designed Loch Ness Monster than Lapras ever was. Now, I'm not hating on Lapras. Everyone loves Lapras. But Lapras was introduced in Gen 1, and this is a real nice looking Loch Ness Monster. I see it has some water blades on its claws. I see it's creating some sort of either illusion out of water shaped like itself, or maybe it's just camouflaging itself, since Sobble, we have confirmed, has camouflaged itself. And unlike the Scorbunny final evolution, which doesn't match at all because everyone is fighting between astronaut and football player, this one actually does match because the Loch Ness Monster is an infamous creature which doesn't exist, but if it did, it would be difficult to find because it's really good at hiding itself. And Sobble is known for, along with crying, it's known for camouflaging itself because it's a chameleon. So if Sobble actually evolved into this Loch Ness Monster thing, I would be so satisfied because I love its color, I love its design, I love its fins. It's so sleek. But enough about that, let's get on to Grookey's final evolution, which for some reason is a gorilla, which I'm actually happy about because we have not had a real gorilla Pokemon yet. Darmanitan is technically more of an orangutan, and Oranguru is also an orangutan, and technically, yeah, we've had a lot of monkey Pokemon and a lot of ape Pokemon, but we have never had a gorilla Pokemon. And since Grookey is a chimp, there's no reason why it can't evolve into a gorilla eventually. So this is another very convincing fake because I'm convinced that it could be real. Now, I'm not saying it's real. Again, I repeat, these are obviously unconfirmed, therefore I'm not allowed to say they're real because I don't think they're real. I'm 99.99% sure they're fake. But all three of them have such good artwork and such good creative designs and like roles to them that I am willing to like them for what they are. Now, back to this gorilla. It unfortunately goes away, just like the astronaut, it goes away from what we think Grookey represents. Now, a lot of people, the first time they saw Grookey, thought it would be a cricket player, so if that's what you thought, then this would be actually accurate. But Grookey stands for Groove Monkey, and it plays music with its stick in the trailer, and all of its international names in other languages have something to do with rhythm and groove and musical elements. Just like how Scorbunny comes from Scorch, and Sobble comes from Crybaby in other languages, because you have to look at all the languages. Like I showed in my previous video, that you get hints for what they're supposed to represent. So, the astronaut comes out of nowhere, but it's not impossible, because technically, what Scorch is more than a rocket ship, and it's an astronaut. So yeah, maybe I'm grabbing at straws. The Loch Ness Monster one is my favorite. I was already leaning towards Sobble as my chosen starter for some reason, because even though I love Scorbunny, and Grookey is not bad even though it's my least favorite, Sobble somehow, with its tear-filled eyes, was calling to me as something special, and if it actually evolved into this Loch Ness Monster, I would definitely choose it, because I actually like it. Anyway, back to the gorilla. Yeah, so instead of Grookey and its music theme, they decided to whoever designed this abandoned the music theme altogether. Maybe they weren't aware of it when they designed this, which is still impressive, the artwork, by the way. They decided to go back to the cricket theme, except instead of just plain old cricket, it looks like full-on baseball. I don't even know the rules for cricket, because this is a heavy hitter. I don't think cricket actually uses that big a bat, but what do I know? Also, it is very curious to note that, actually I should probably get into the closer pictures. Yeah, so closer pictures, we get lots of details that you might not have noticed yet. So we see that this Scorbunny evolution fake, you see a lunar background there in the lower corner, which is the only reason I realized this was an astronaut. Before, I saw that lunar, like, cratered mountains and stuff, like, right there. I had no idea this was supposed to be an astronaut. I thought it was some sort of just robot, and I was like, what? Why is it a robot? But then as soon as I saw the lunar surface, I realized, oh, it's an astronaut or some sort of, like, sci-fi thing, which I actually like that theme. You know, it's not the worst thing. I was somewhat reluctant to imagine how can you pull off 3 evolution stages from Scorbunny to whatever its final evolution is of football players. I mean, that's so generic. An astronaut is cooler, in my opinion. So if this ends up being real, which is like nearly impossible, but I remind you that when Sun and Moon first came out, and they hadn't released any evolution pictures yet, there was some leaked images of Incineroar, and they were confirmed real, and there were some leaked pictures of Primarina and Decidueye. Yeah, so Incineroar, Decidueye, Primarina, all those had pictures that looked just like this. They even had the confidential. They were like designed in this exact color scheme and artwork. It was like, if I didn't know any better, I could have sworn that whoever designed this also designed Incineroar, Primarina, and Decidueye, because it's the same exact style with like different angles, different body parts. I can't even read the Japanese, but it's obviously something to do with how its body works. But it doesn't really matter. If this is fake, it was done by someone who could have easily copied the Sun and Moon plants. Another interesting thing is this rabbit's size. It's shorter than the female player from Sun and Moon, which is unfortunate, because I don't like it when the final evolutions are small. They're supposed to be big. Like, I know Charizard is like, what, 5 feet? And technically a 10-year-old shouldn't be that tall, but even if they are, I think that once you evolve, you're supposed to get bigger. I mean, in the starters, not all evolutions have to get bigger, but this is a small rabbit, but what can you expect? Rabbits shouldn't exactly be big, so it's not a big deal. I'm trying to understand what these things are. Obviously, this is just a cross-section of its ear. This is a cross-section of, like, its hand, and these are its legs. I'm trying to understand what these things are. I think they're compressed air. Compressed air which can combust, which is why it shoots fire out of its hands. I think its hands detach. Here, I think its hands might detach. There's fire coming out of its ears, fire coming out of its ears behind it. It's a jetpack, it's a robot, it's a rocket, it's an astronaut. It's a combination of all these things. And if its hands actually do detach, that's actually really interesting and may relate to some sort of signature move, or maybe even a Z move in the future. As for typing, I'm gonna bet most of my money on Fire Steel, if this were real. Fire Steel, come on, look at it. It's made of metal, it's an astronaut, it has to be Fire Steel. Now, Fire Steel, what we have for Fire Steel so far? We have Heatran. Yeah, that's a quad weakness to ground, but other than that, it's not too bad. So moving along, this is a cool design. I don't hate it. Next, the Sobble evolution. There's not really much to see here. It is not humanoid, so there's not that many facial expressions or detached body parts that you can make out. But I do like its water formation claws. It looks just like what Samurott develops, like with its signature move, which isn't even that strong, but I think this might be something even stronger. And like I said, because it's a lizard and it's based on the Loch Ness Monster, I'm again betting most of my money that this is going to be a water dragon type, if it were real, which we know it isn't, 99% sure, but I secretly wish these are real, because they're just so good now that I look at them. The longer I stare at them, the greater they look, but don't tell anyone they're real, because that would be irresponsible of you, because I know from many sources that these are not only unconfirmed, but also confirmed fake. So they're unconfirmed real, but confirmed fake. But that's all we know so far. But then again, they look just like the Sun and Moon pictures of Incineroar and Decidueye, but whoever drew this could have just been copying that art style. Regardless. Yeah, so we have an astronaut, we have the Loch Ness Monster. I like them both. I think the water type is my favorite, but I might change my mind. I'm not sure yet. And now back to what we were discussing. It's whatever this thing is. I don't hate it. I like how they're showing its different facial expressions here, although it's hard to tell them apart because it's like 50% forehead. I see it carries around these nuts / coconut / fruit as balls, which it hits with its bat. Very, very Alolan, because it reminds me of Passimian. And what I really wanted to mention before, more than anything else, is this star shape. This eight-pointed star with a crystal 4-pointed thing right above it. So it's not only here detached from anything, it's also on its bat right there. So whatever these two shapes together are, it is obviously the signature symbol of this fake Pokemon. Now you may be wondering what a signature symbol is. Well, it's something that I've been coming up with in my mind as something that they've been including in Pokemon, especially starters, and in their signature Z moves. For example, Incineroar's signature symbol might be the spiky hair that it has right on its forehead, but you see more on Litten and Litten's evolution, and it is visible in the name for its signature Z move. Greninja also has a similar shape, which is its shuriken, but, you know, it doesn't have a Z move, but if it did, it would definitely be a giant shuriken, which I mentioned in a previous video is possibly what Ash somehow unleashed without a Z ring, just like Ash Greninja's signature giant gold shuriken Z move, whatever. I'm like thinking, why do they put this star on the bat? It has to mean something. Whoever designed this, of course, because again, this is probably not real. I also like how they focused very much on this armband, which is another nod to sports teams, because sometimes you wear armbands to distinguish yourself from like another team. And it bothers me that they went away from music and went into cricket, which was what everyone was expecting before they realized that it's a groove monkey. So this by itself, the fact that it's playing cricket, regardless of its great design, I love the design, the fact that it's playing cricket is another point for why this is fake, because I'm almost pretty certain that Grookey is supposed to evolve into a musical-themed Pokemon. If this had been some sort of music-themed monkey, I would have totally fallen for it. I would have totally said, oh yeah, that fits. Grookey evolves into like a musician. It makes sense. But the fact that it's a cricket player is not real for me. But the Loch Ness Monster is totally believable, in my opinion, and the astronaut is semi-believable. But regardless of whether they're believable or not, which, again, I repeat for the millionth time, these are not real, as of now, they are completely confirmed to be very good fakes. Regardless of whether they're real, I love all of their designs. I cannot find anything particularly upsetting about these designs. They are very, very well designed. The artwork is amazing. The lines and the colors are really, really realistic when it comes to Pokemon. For example, the gorilla looks like it could pass for an Alolan Pokemon. It reminds me of Oranguru, and its shape and its like the way it was drawn looks extremely professional, and the artwork showing it hitting that ball really hard, that looks like it's real, like it was designed by someone at Game Freak. And whatever this is, this water illusion thing, that looks so realistic and professional. And of course that confidential in the corner, well, obviously they had, if this is fake, they had to add that to sell it, you know. But when I say sell it, I just mean to gullible people. But I swear, if these turn out to be real, I will be very happy. I'll be very happy because they're just so good. But again, there's nothing I can do about it. If you want to find these pictures yourself, I really don't know how you can find them specifically. It took me forever to find. There's one on Pinterest, which is where I found. It was the only place I could actually like find a good copy, a good like visible copy on Pinterest. But you could, you know, look wherever, see if you can find them, if you're interested, that is. And that's it for today. I apologize for talking so much about these. What do you guys think? Comment down below if you think these are real or fake, or regardless of whether you think they're real or fake, if you think they're, you know, objectively good. In my opinion, I'm 99% sure they're fake, but I think they're objectively good, and I will completely be happy if these turn out to be real eventually, because you never know who drew them. You never know. I'm not gonna go into like the research to find out who drew them. I'm not gonna look for watermarks or anything like that. I'm not gonna look for artists. I'm believing they're fake for now, but you know, time will tell. This month's Korokoro has not revealed anything interesting or new, so worst case scenario, we have a full month before potentially getting another trailer or even magazine images of anything related to Sword and Shield. Like I said in the comments below, let me know what you think of them. Are they good? Are they bad designs? Are they real? Are they fake? Again, don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out my channel for more videos like this. Please support the channel. I'm still starting out, but I am happy for any support I could get. And check out my Twitter for almost nothing interesting. And don't forget to share with a friend and like and subscribe again. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.